afternoon. I'm Kyle Smith for JCM 326, joined by fellow University of Alabama student Naomi Campbell. Now, Naomi, so I'm pretty sure you, along with literally everyone, has heard about the whole Will Smith, Chris Rock fiasco, as well as the fallout from that.
Right.
What do you think is the best way for Will Smith to proceed without coming across as more hostile than he probably already is?
I think Will Smith has done everything he needed to do. He has apologized to the Academy, and I'm not sure if he's apologized to Chris Rock, but Will Smith has apologized to the Academy, made a public statement about his actions, not only once he received his Oscar the night of, but afterwards on social media platforms. And I feel like apologizing is all you can do moving forward. As far as how the Academy has reacted, I think the punishment doesn't fit the crime, but hey, it's their institution, and he did assault someone on live television, so.
So piggybacking off of that, you were saying how the punishment doesn't necessarily match the crime.
Right.
What do you think is the optimal punishment for this situation? Seeing how, as you said, it is assault on national television, international television at that.
Well, I feel like Chris Rock needs to be brought to the table. I'm not sure if he was when determining the quote-unquote punishment for Will Smith, but since he was the one who was assaulted, he should be included in that decision. As far as Will Smith, what I think is the most appropriate punishment, I would say that 10-year thing they did, removing him for the Oscars for 10 years, I think that's too long of a period. Especially for an actor, I would give it a good 5. Or maybe say, hey, you can't attend the Oscars for the next 5 years or something like that. Or maybe just permanently remove him from the board, but not something where he cannot go to Oscars for 10 years, because as an actor, that's like the pinnacle of your career. And he just slapped somebody, so it's like, I feel like it's not, that didn't equate. What they've done doesn't equate what he did.
Taking it a step further, so there's been a lot of debate, especially on social media, as I'm sure you're aware,
Right.
really of whether that was appropriate. On one hand, they're saying the argument is if Chris Rock was doing his job, there wasn't really a need to snap on him like that.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, there is the argument of this is a well-documented disease on Jada Pinkett's part.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knew what was going on.
Excuse me.
Bless you. Everyone knew what was going on with that situation, and he stepped over that line as to, hey, this is not okay for you to joke about. Which side of the aisle are you on, or are you in the middle?
I'm on, okay, so when it comes to Chris Rock is a comedian, and comedians need leeway to make jokes because, comedy is not politically correct. However, Chris Rock is also a black man who is very aware of what hair means to black womanhood. He even had a whole documentary on good hair and how hair is a pinnacle of black womanhood and how, we feel in certain situations and stuff like that. He's very well versed in it, especially since he has daughters himself. So he knew, what making a hair joke to a black woman would feel like. Also, Chris Rock is Will Smith's peer. So it's not just like some random person you're making a joke about. This is your peer, and like you said, Jada Pinkett Smith also, she also well documented her alopecia journey for the past like 3 years, maybe 4, since 2018, right? So I feel like Chris Rock knew that what he did was wrong. He should have made that joke, and I know for Will, he's had a rough childhood as far as like viewing abuse from his father to his mother, so that probably made him feel like really protective of the women around him, especially his wife. And the past couple of years he's had scrutiny for things that have been going on in his marriage, which are really nobody's business. So he probably felt like emasculated in the moment. And emasculated men act out, and a lot of times because of patriarchy, defending your woman or defending your wife is you have to do it violently or with aggression. I feel like this whole situation is really a consequence of misogyny, patriarchy, and this, there's deeper conversation to be had.
One last question, since we are running out of time. A lot of conversation based off of this incident is about the nature of marriages, as you said. It's very public. It's a very public situation
For them, yeah.
for them. Correctly study. And the conversation that we're now having is before, when we didn't know a whole lot about their marriage. Jada and Will were like the pinnacle of a good relationship.
Right.
So do you equate
That Jada and Will love.
exactly. Exactly. Do you necessarily agree that the degree of how private or public that relationship, if there's a correlation there, is it really just a matter of this just happened to be a public?
No, I agree, because
Okay.
if you look at Will Smith's like whole public career or life in the public eye, he's very much like a go-lucky person. He's never been quick to anger. He's always been like really chill guy. Always had a squeaky clean image. Even when he was in his rap days, he was never one to push boundaries and stuff like that. So it was only until like the past couple of years, especially with that whole entanglement thing with August Alsina and his wife, that you could really see him show his emotions on television. Emotions, in the public eye, especially with his YouTube channel. He's a YouTuber now. Excuse me, I forgot the question. What was it like? What were you asking?
Really, just essentially if there's a correlation between how public or how private
Right, yeah.
That relationship is.
I think, yeah. So I do think that there is a correlation between how public their relationship has become and how that has taken emotional toll on their relationship, particularly Will, and could factor into him slapping Chris Rock that night at the Oscars. I do think in general, like, certain parts of your relationship are good to share because it helps other people, view things in certain ways. However, I can acknowledge that having your relationship on public display can be to the detriment of the relationship at times.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate you coming on through. Again, this is Kyle Smith for JCM 326.